Thank you. We've been busy since we were last together in February. April in particular was a very busy month. The first thing that Sinfonia was involved in, kind of above and beyond what goes on in class, is large group contest. We traveled along with concert band and symphonic band to Bemidji. Orchestras and bands from Moorhead and Alexandria, Bemidji, us. I feel like there was one other school, but I forget. We perform for each other all day. We get comments from judges. We get scored. And Sinfonia earned a superior rating, which is the highest possible rating. Really proud of their performance today. It's also worth mentioning both of the Brainerd bands got superior ratings, so the Brainerd Music Department put on a good show that day back in April. The next thing that some of these kids were involved in was the music hall. We have a couple cast members, crew members up on stage right now, and some kids who played in the pit orchestra, which is kind of a leap. The music is hard, and we have to learn it really quickly. And it's a lot of hours of playing and focus and concentration to put on this show, but I was really proud of the pit this year. That was exciting. And then Sinfonia students weren't involved in solo ensemble. They didn't perform for solo ensemble, but that event was held here. Brainerd hosted this year, and quite a few of the kids on stage volunteered to help me put it on. They helped judges keep supplied with pencils and pens and water and things. They welcomed students, welcomed kids from other schools into the building. I got really positive feedback from directors that these kids did a great job of making them feel welcome and helping put on a great event. So I was really proud of that as well. Our next piece for you is by our old friend Richard Meyer, he of Ninja and Time Machine, and Rosin Eating Zombies from Outer Space, and some of those songs you might remember from Forest View. This one is called Pie Tunes. I've been doing this long enough. I've done a lot of Richard Meyer's work. I've kind of seen the breadth of what he's done. This piece kind of comes out of a period where he was naming his pieces very like kind of dad jokey kind of names. This is kind of deep in his dad joke era. If you remember from math class, you learned about pi, like pi r squared. I don't know if that rings a bell. And he took the digits of pi and he assigned each digit a degree of the scale. So if you think of a C major scale, the note C was 1, and D is 2, and E is 3. And so he created this theme based on the digits of pi. You're going to hear it right off the bat, presented in its entirety, 32 digits by the seconds, violas, and bass together. Because it starts on 3, like 3.14, it starts on an E, and then it's a 1, so the next note is a C, and then the next digit is 4, so that's an F. So it's a really interesting way to create a theme. So he takes this theme and he just kind of manipulates it. He makes it faster, he plays little snippets of it, he makes it slower, he puts it in different keys, just kind of a really interesting artistic challenge. So we hope you enjoy Pie Tunes. Well, here we are. Here we all are. A happy May 4th to all of you. This year's juniors, I think it was when you guys were in 8th grade. Didn't we play Star Wars on May 4th? Yes. Their 8th grade concert, however many years ago that was on May 4th, and we played Star Wars. So here we are again, concert on May 4th. This is a great piece to combine on. It's a big piece of music. You're going to recognize a lot of the tunes. Some of them are from the original Star Wars movie from 1977. Some of them are from the new The Force Awakens. We found some opportunities to kind of highlight each group in a couple spots. I put in the program that John Williams is still composing at the age of 93, and that he has a movie coming out. When I printed this, or when I wrote this up, the internet didn't have the title of the movie yet. But then the very next day in the paper, there was sort of a summer movie highlight, and it's called Disclosure Day. So it's a UFO movie. It's by Steven Spielberg, so it's going to be good. Like the guy who did E.T., like it's going to be amazing. And the music's going to be great. So June 12th, you can go see Disclosure Day and hear some music by a 93-year-old composer. I think we're just going to do it. We hope you enjoy Star Wars. Since everybody's on stage together, I thought this would be the perfect time to recognize our seniors. Every class of seniors is special, but this one is particularly to me because this is the first class of seniors that I taught all the way through from 6th grade until the end of their senior year. 7 years with these kids. They spent 7 years with me, which is even crazier. And we've been through a lot. At the end of their 6th grade year, that's when everything shut down. And the pandemic hit. They didn't get to have a spring concert in 6th grade. They were barely in school during 7th grade. 8th grade was a little more back to normal. But then when they hit 9th grade, that's when my job changed. And so we all came over to the high school together. And we learned how to do Brainerd High School Orchestra together. We learned how to do large group and solo ensemble and CLC Festival and pit orchestra. All these like adventures we've had together. And 7 years is just, it's a remarkable amount of time. It's a remarkable span in a kid's life when you think of a 6th grader who's maybe 11 years old and now they're 18 and they're heading off into their lives. And I hope you saw the slideshow ahead of time. Some of them are going into music. Some of them are going to school. Some of them are serving our country. Some are taking a gap year. And I'm just delighted that I was able to be a part of this journey with them. I was musing, and I said this at the Fine Arts event, I mean, 7 years. I haven't even had the same colleagues for 7 years. I haven't had the same neighbors for 7 years, but I've had the same group of students every day for 7 years, which is just incredible. And I'm so happy that there are 12 of them. The past couple years, it's been like 4 or 5, maybe 7, but to have 12 kids who stuck with orchestra, and many of them are in multiple musics all the way through their senior year is just remarkable. I have the Fermata Award that I give out every spring. My first class of seniors told me this was a tradition, so I've been happy to carry it on. A fermata, and we just talked about this at the 6th grade concert last night, taught those families about fermatas. In music, a fermata indicates that a note or rest should be held beyond its usual length. In conversational Italian, because all these Italian terms, they're not just music terms, they're also words that Italians use in speech. It means a stop, but not like a stop forever, more like a bus stop, like you stop and then you start again. And I hope that this moment is a fermata, that this is not the end of music for your lives. And I know some of you are gonna go study. I hope, even if you don't, that you find a community orchestra to play in, or maybe you play in your church, or maybe you find some friends to play in a group with, or you encourage your kids someday to join music, or you join an arts board, or you become a really enthusiastic audience member, because we all know as performers we need audiences, like we need that too. So I'm gonna ask the seniors, would you stand at the front of the stage here and I'll hand out your certificates. I also remember as I walked, thank you, yes, please. As I walked past them, I remember that some of them I even had in 5th grade music when I used to teach that, which seems like a lifetime ago, like a different, planet, but I know I had Mason in 5th grade, I think, right? And Logan, Elsie, is there anyone else? No, but still, so that's 8 years, holy moly. So again, congratulations to these kids. I'm really proud of you. I'm delighted that we stuck together all these years, so thanks. And now we're going to reset the stage for the string quartet and also for chamber. So give us a couple minutes. house lights. Would that be okay? The house lights up just a little, thanks. Feel free to stand and stretch, talk to your neighbor. Could we get another hand for the Vireo String Quartet, please? In their performance tonight? The formation and success of that string quartet is thanks to support from the Lakes Area Music Festival, which was started by a Brainerd kid who graduated in '04 and built this $1 million summer music festival. And one of their sort of pillars of their strategic plan and their goal and their mission is to support music education in central Minnesota. And so thanks to the Lakes Area Music Festival, we have Mark Haru, who's the director of youth education for the festival. He teaches lessons after school at Forest View to some of these students, some Sinfonia students, a lot of Forest View students. And then he comes over here and works with the string quartet. He coaches them, he runs their rehearsals, he finds opportunities for them to play. And it's been really exciting over the last 2 years to watch this quartet grow. I'm sad they're seniors and we don't get to see them grow anymore. But I hope that they are able to take these skills with them into the future. That's another way to enjoy playing music after school, after you graduate. It's a great way to make money, like to play for weddings or private parties in people's homes. It's just an excellent skill for a musician to have. So I'm grateful for the support from LAMP. The chamber orchestra has also been busy. They were not involved in large group. They had CLC, the CLC Music Festival in St. Cloud, which was snowed out, which was a bummer. The Honors Orchestra got to have their rehearsal, but then the actual festival was snowed out that day. But the last piece on the program today is actually a piece that the Honors Orchestra would have played. Almost every kid in chamber was in the honors group. That's always kind of my secret plan, is to get almost all of chamber into the honors group. So we'll be happy to perform one of those for you later. Quite a few of these kids were in the cast of the musical. Quite a few were in the pit orchestra. And I thought it was an incredible production. The pit sounded fantastic. The cast sounded great, so congratulations to all of them. When we hosted solo ensemble, we had 3 solos, 2 quartets, a duet, and then the chamber orchestra played. Everybody got either a superior or an excellent. And the chamber orchestra actually earned Best in Sight. There were a couple other orchestras, yes, please. There were 3 sites for performances that day here in the Gichi-ziibi, and then 2 other rooms in the music area. And each judge gets to pick their Best in Sight for the day, and chamber won that honor for their performance here in this room that day, so that was exciting. I think that's it for stuff that they have done since February. The first 2 things on the program, they would have performed at the CLC Festival, but they did perform for solo ensemble. They helped them win that Best in Sight. The first is a piece that is not by Johann Sebastian Bach, but somebody guessed that it was, and it stuck for 300, 400 years. So you're gonna hear 2 movements from an overture, a slow movement larghetto followed by an allegro, and they're gonna do this one on their own. So I'll leave you to enjoy this piece that is not by Bach. never heard of Ernest John Morin before this piece, and I have to acknowledge Paul brought us this piece. He played it in another group that he plays in. I was delighted he was willing to play it again in the same year, share it with us. That last chord just gives me chills every time. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much for coming tonight, for supporting your student, for supporting your students in Sinfonia, your students in chamber. Thank you for supporting, especially senior parents, your student all the way through from 6th grade all the way to tonight. It's a lot of extra time, trips to the music store, extra rehearsals. If your child was ever in pit, goodness sakes, is that a lot of extra time and late rides home after events. So I just thank you. Thank you for supporting your student, for supporting music education in the Brainerd schools. The last song we have for you tonight is a movement from St. Paul Suite. A dargazon is like a country dance that can be very easily repeated, and that is literally what happens for the entire piece. Holst comes up with all kinds of interesting accompaniments to this country dance. So we hope you enjoy the dargazon.
Hello? Is this test? Do I need to sing? That's what I had to do for Anastasia. Okay. Yeah, we're not done. Okay, so, thank you parents. You just got a shout out, so thank you once more, that's it. Thanks. Okay, Ms. Zander, thank you. You have done so much for not only just the seniors, but the entire BHS orchestra program and the music programs we have here at BHS. I cannot say that my experience here would have been as fulfilling and as humbling if not for you. Seniors, wherever they are, seniors, we have all gone through this, as she's been saying the whole night for the past 7 years. It's been the greatest 7 years of my life. It's been about half of my life, so 0 to 7, 7 to 11, 12 to 16, whatever. Something like that. I dropped math this year. Yeah. Music stuff. You've always been such a humble, put your head down, get the work done. I remember dancing and singing up here on the stage, and you're just down there, busy bee, just grinding away at the violin, at the violin, never asserting your authority or acting like you're better than anyone, staying very humble, and an incredibly good role model to both me, the seniors, and every other student here. There's nobody else I know that could have done this job as well as you, going back and forth. She goes back and forth every single day to teach both the middle school and the high school. You accepted your role without a second chance. You have excelled. I don't think there's anybody who could have done it better than you. I don't even think there's anybody who could have done it as close as good as the job you have done. So thank you. We miss you. Well, we're gonna miss you. We don't miss you, yeah, you're still here. And we love you, and we got you dried flowers, because dried flowers don't die.